Okay. I'd like to call the council meeting to order. The first will be doing the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Is to consider approving the minutes and signing the weekly warrant.
I make a motion to approve the minute.
Second.
All those in favor? First order of business is we're going to be electing our council chair and vice chair. I've left 2 ballots in front of you, so we'll do the chair first, please. Mike, it's unanimous that you are the chairman. I'll do the vice chair now. It is unanimous that Dana Wrigley is our vice chairman. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Boyd Snowden, to talk about accepting a grant application for main storm water.
Yes, thank you. So basically, I wanted to bring the council up to speed on a few grant applications that, we're looking at. That's the primary reason, and then I wanted to also give you an update on the sewer project, where we're at, where we're headed. So I've got a little handout. I know Kelly has sent this to all of you, but I'm not gonna go through all this, but it'll come up probably in the coming months, so. Kind of. I saw that. It's that, yes.
Sure.
Okay, sure. So, the first, piece of, the first grant application I'd like to talk about is on the South Alpine Street, so we'll be kind of jumping around. If you remember, 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I did 3, we received, $500,000 in grant funding from the county for the sewer replacement on South Alpine Street. As part of that, we had to put in $100,000 of our sewer reserve, to fund that project. Been coordinating and discussing the project with the water company. They're also planning, not this year, but the following year, so 2025, water main replacement for the full length of South Alpine Street to terminate at the bog from Libby Hill intersection. So looking at those 2 things and thinking about the stormwater is talking with Jeff Hall. Stormwater is fairly old out there as well. So what it seemed to make sense was, rather than having a bunch of different trenches with services and a patchwork of paving, it kind of made sense to, but at least the first 1,400 feet, to make a larger project out of it, and have the sewer go through, the water go through, and then after the water goes through, replace the storm drain, and then probably do a full reconstruction of that section. So at least that can be 100% complete. We can move on to other things. DOT has a grant, it's called the Main Infrastructure Grant. It's up to $125,000, for a stormwater system replacement. Applications are due March 29th of this year. And I think the match on that was like, either in kind or cash of $5,000. So, we'll be doing the design in-house. So that's, it's really easy to beat that match. I guess I'd like to, I don't know if I have to request approval from the council, but I'd like to, get that in front of you anyway, make sure that we're okay to go ahead and apply for those grant funds. And we'll be coming back to you here in the next, once we get the bids out in South Alpine Street, coming back, talk about the bids and about the other phases as well. But, just with all that work going on, it just seems to make sense to complete that section of road and put it to bed, and we can move on to other. So that's the first grant application we'd like to apply for. The second is a little more involved and relates to Water Street. Water Street is a DOT road. And, DOT did an assessment of the storm drain system. I want to say it was either this past summer or the summer before. And basically the storm drain system is gone, design life, it's, the under drain is right full of sand. It's just not functioning as it should. The water company also is planning, after they're finished South Alpine Street in 2025 and 2026 and 27, they're planning on full main replacement down Water Street. We also have old clay pipe in Water Street that's, another target area for us. So one of the things that we don't really need the answer on right now, but I want to get the council thinking about is where we've got water coming in, maybe sewer work, the storm drain is gonna be completed. If we would consider applying for municipal partnership initiative funding, which is basically DOT grant up to $875,000. The catch is there's a 30% local share, town share. Being a state road, town doesn't have to do anything to that road other than we have to apply for permits to do our sewer, and the water company have to apply for permits to do their water. A lot of local communities, Winslow, Waterville have done these MPI projects, and basically what happens is DOT, it's not right on their schedule, some of these projects, it's kind of further down, so this is a way that towns are able to bring these projects in their towns to the forefront and get some work done and not have to wait to go through the many years of delays waiting for the state to put a package out. State's been doing this for quite a few years. Like I said, I know Waterville's done it, Winslow's done it, not sure if Fairfield's done it. Again, I don't need an answer tonight, but this one it's a change from what we've done in the past. Generally, DOT roads, DOT takes care of. I guess the question is, with all this work that's gonna be going on with the water company and the fact that the storm drain system is a mess and the sidewalk probably needs to be redone on Water Street, does it make sense to, again, pull those in, try to get some grant money from the state and just do it ourselves, 2 or 3 years down the road, so. So those are the 2 grant applications. The one I guess I'd like to kind of get some feeling from you folks on is the main infrastructure grant for the South Alpine Street run. See if we can go ahead and apply for that. Obviously, no guarantee we're gonna get it, but every little bit helps on those roads, so.
David?
So procedurally, do we need to vote to apply, or do we just do it and then vote on it after the fact? If we get,
I think once you receive the money,
Once we receive the money, we have to,
you have to accept it.
okay, accept it, but he does not.
we don't need to approve
Mr.
it
Coughlin,
after
Chief
applying.
Coughlin has applied for 200,000 grants and scores all the time. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
all right.
rock and roll.
Good. So I'll go ahead and apply for that then. I just want to get you folks all on page as to what we're looking at here, so.
So the first one's 5,000-ish.
Yeah, 5,000 match, so it's, again, we've got so much money going into the road anyway, that'll be easy to meet, plus the design costs are in-house, so we'll meet that.
But the other one is.
The other one is the big one.
240.
Yeah, and that's the max. I'm sure the project, we redid all of Water Street to be even more than that, so 30% is a pretty significant number, so.
Yeah.
As we get discussing that later on, we'll get some numbers to it and see if the council wants to consider that or just wait till DOT does their stuff, so.
Would that also
DOT,
be-
you're talking 10 years down the road. before
Could
they'll-
be, yeah, Dave Allen he's now the regional, director for Region 2. And he met with Kelly on another matter and, he had a lot of good things to say about really wanting to fund Water Street. From their standpoint, I think they know that the storm drain is a mess. So if the town can do it, checks it off their list, and if all they gotta do is cut a check, makes it easier for them. So I think
You
that,
wanted to tie in the intersection. as well.
the Haymarket Square. Yeah. So, it does work. I've seen other towns do it, but it is, you have to kind of change the philosophy of town putting in money on a state road. So that's the kicker.
If we know it's a couple years out, we could be incrementally putting aside some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go after other grant funds for, from other avenues for the sewer, so as well. So, again, just wanted to kind of put that bug in your ear as far as what we're looking at. The sewer, the phase one of the sewer project, Oak Tree, you probably saw us all there on Lower Oak Tree working this, winter. It was winter before they got to it. Contractor was delayed because of all the rain. His schedule got thrown off on other jobs, so he was supposed to start beginning of September, and started, I think, the second week in November. So pushed us into a pretty tough time, but he didn't want to, nor did I want to wait till spring and just keep kicking it down the road. Wanted to get in and get it done. The paving is, an issue. So it got cold when they were paving it. They think that the paving company that they got the mix from burned the mix. Basically burned the asphalt out of it because it rides like a washboard. Unfortunately, the weather closed in and then the plants were closing, so there's nothing they could do. That is a temporary pavement. That time of year, DOT would never allow us to put permanent pavement down anyway. So we had agreed to put a 2-inch layer down, and normally 2-inch layer is just like brand new pavement. You don't even notice, but it's rough. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do until spring. So they do have to come back in the spring, put the services in for Lower Oak Street, and they'll probably start end of April, beginning of May. Then, they're gonna move on to Railroad Street, get the main and service done on that, and then the final piece, they'll move out to Oak Street and Sawtell Road. We've got 13 manholes that need to be replaced out there. Assuming we have funding left, which right now it looks like we will, we may use some of the remaining federal funds to line some of the sewer main, whether it be on, upper end of Oak Street, some of the problem areas where we've got root infiltration and things into the old clay pipe. So I'll keep you folks apprised of that as well, so. The only other piece that I wanted to bring up is the, landfill grading. We've been talking with DEP, about this. They wanted, we've got an area that's trapping surface water on top of the landfill. I think just the solid waste is kind of settled over time, I think, and now there's kind of a flat area there, or relatively flat, enough so it's not shedding water off. So, we've been working with Jeff from Public Works to get that going. So hopefully this summer, we'll get DEP to approve the plan I'm creating, and then we'll go out and basically we're gonna strip the loam off, bring more fill in, add the loam back so that it sheds the water off in the landfill. So we are getting a few areas of leachate coming out. I think a lot of it's because of the rain. The groundwater table is so high that it's just kind of coming into the landfill and going out. The landfill's capped, but there's an edge where the clay hits the natural ground that it can't stop it doesn't stop the groundwater. These are all unlined, landfills as they are in many towns. So we're dealing with that, but the first problem we got to deal with here is regrading that. So hopefully that'll happen this summer. So that's all I have.
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you, sir. Thank you. Next item up is Chief Coughlin.
So, as everybody knows, I guess, I go back a couple of years, but we've done a lot of different changes with our staffing, and what we have here at the fire department. It used to be, you had Hardy, you had Vaughn, you had myself, you had people, we always had officers, they were always available in town. Covered 9, we covered nights, we covered weekends. So we're kind of looking to change that up a little bit. We promoted 2 assistant chiefs, Dave Groder and Jeremy Buzzell. They're obviously gonna help cover time. Tony Thibodeau and Ryan Johnson were promoted to captains. So what we're looking to do now, that's on the call for side. We're looking to do now is with our current career force is to promote them all to a lieutenant position, lieutenant title. That'll allow us to have an officer here at the station or on duty 24 hours a day, basically, which we used to have with, you know, some of the, I don't want to say older, but, you know, the older generations that, you know, is different today. It just is. And we'll still have myself and the officers that'll be covering time. We're we do that on a rotation, which we always have. We continue to do that. So with that, I felt, you know, on the call side, the fire department's always made motions and kind of done things as they see fit to run the department. But where we have the career staff now, I thought it made sense to come to the council and say, you know, this is what we'd like to do. And a lot of the duties, if you will, they're already performing, they're already making decisions, they're here by themselves the majority of their shift. So, you know, they're already kind of acting in that role, and people do look to them, ask them questions. So it just seemed like the right thing to do at this time. To do that, what I'd like to do is, in the upcoming budget, you'll see Kelly and I created a stipend line item in the budget. And the stipend line item is to give each one of them $1 an hour for this lieutenant title. So they'll get their hourly wage plus the stipend. And it's budget neutral in the budget coming up because we have some areas of wages of money that's not being spent. So we're moving some stuff around a little bit so that it's budget neutral. I would like to start this process in the coming weeks with money from the current budget, which we can also absorb based on the per diem and call firefighter wage line where we way underspent this year's budget. So there's money available to give them the dollar raise, stipend raise, so that and be able to absorb it in the budget without us going over budget, if you will. The second piece to it is, as we're going through the process to permit up our EMS license, the paramedics and the advanced EMTs will be able to use additional skills and other additional drugs they can get them. They got a cardiac monitor they'll be able to use. So part of that is a 50-cent stipend for an advanced EMT or a paramedic. Right now, the career staff is just one of them that has that license. We already do this on the call side. So on the call wages, if someone has an advanced license, they get a little bit more per hour. So I'm just kind of making that equitable to the career staff as well. That also can be absorbed in the current budget without any impact. And in the upcoming budget, when we start going through, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when we get to that point, you'll see that also is budget neutral. There's no increase to make that happen. So to do this for the rest of this year, it's going to cost $4,158 to give those our staff that stipend. And again, that can be absorbed in the current budget. I'm not asking for any new money, just kind of approval to make that happen. And I'm gonna through it pretty quick, but
Questions, Mr.
welcome
Nutting?
any questions, yeah.
Mr. Nutting, any questions?
When you refer to it as a stipend, do you really mean you're just gonna increase their
So
weekly
what the
wage?
stipend does is they have a base wage. So every year when we do COLA or anything like that, it's on the base wage. The stipend is above that. So unless we change that dollar, it doesn't change. It'll be $1 next year, it'll be $1 the year after that, unless we decide for it to be more. It won't fluctuate with. So the base wage, so if we hire somebody new, they would get the base wage, which is $26.40 or down, $26.46 is the base wage. If we hire somebody new, It would come into the base wage, not the new lieutenant.
So the only difference is that any increase the following year would not be added on to the dollar or the.
Correct, unless we decided to do that, but it wouldn't be part of the goal.
Okay.
Dana?
I think it's a great idea. You've got some young people there that you're training. I think you need to, keep moving them up or you're gonna get them pirated away from you. So I think this is a good plan.
We got a good crew, for sure. I know.
What do you have for numbers? What are you up to now? Did you just get a new person?
We have 4 full time,
Time for it?
4, yeah, same as we started.
Is it only for those 4 people or is it the whole staff?
These 4,
Just 4?
yeah, the career staff, yeah.
Mr. Woman?
I guess my only thought is that this is going to be a raise in the interim. I know it's not called a raise, but we're dealing with salaries in an atypical way. Or payment in an atypical way. Usually we put them in for the following budget year. And my concern is that this becomes more common than what we used to do.
Seems like it's being common all around town, and that's one of the things that kind of prompted me to come do this before budget season, because I've always kind of tried to stick to the budget season as well, but I think it's important that if we can afford it, that we should go ahead and do it.
No other further comments? Thank you.
I make the motion, we grant permission to do this.
Motion made. Seconded by Bob, all in favor? Opposed?
I had one other comment I was gonna make before we voted. I think not making that dollar part of their wages is cheap.
Oh.
I hate to call you cheap, Chief, you know. I just think this is the new wage you're setting up for these people with this training, with this ability. This is the wage they get,
Yeah,
and they'll get their corner on it.
we just, you know, it's,
I know it's a little bit more
we
money.
kind of set it up so like it's the current staff, so if someone was to leave, we're not automatically hiring,
Well,
you
well, if they don't have this rating that these people you have now have, they won't get that money, but it just,
stipend is pretty common in the
is it?
public safety to have that. That, you know, to use stipends.
As long as it works.
It's always something that we can revisit down the road, but I think this is a good way to kind of,
Works.
this is a good way to get it started and be budget neutral.
Yeah.
Mr. Woman?
Yeah, I voted against it simply because I think we're doing this too much with too many different areas. We're getting away from, we budget, we put things in, we have discussions during the process, and I know there's another issue coming up tonight where the same thing is being looked at. We try to keep the wages of people fair and try to upgrade them as we can, but we're seeming to do more and more hodgepodge where you come up with what sounds like a great idea, but why are we?
Well, it's something that I was looking to do in the next budget cycle. As we go, looking at what we have spent this year, and it's like, they deserve it now, let's put it in front of the council, and
But I think there's a lot more discussion when we go through the budget process.
I agree.
The more people get involved, it becomes a great idea, it's processed the way we have typically done it. I think this.
I don't disagree.
Unlike others, this is actually coming out budget neutral
It
versus.
doesn't matter, it's a process, because whatever we create today is gonna follow forward to the next. The Budget Advisory Committee might have some ideas that are different than 5 of us sitting here after a short but good presentation.
I can't totally disagree with that. I mean, but it's like, this seems to be the path that we're going down, and, you know, your employees are important, and you have employees don't just leave during the budget cycle. You know, so you gotta kind of keep up with that process, but
Thank you.
any other questions?
Next item on the agenda is vote to accept the donated funds from Mr. Joseph Hall to the police department for $500 and to be restricted towards purchasing of tasers.
Yeah, just need a,
Accept this money.
Motion is made to accept it, seconded by Dave, all in favor. Thank you, Mr. Joe Hall, that is tremendous.
Thank you for it.
I have one
How
more
many
here
dates?
as well, Dave Coughlin.
All right, that's that guy.
Are we all set? Go ahead, Phil.
How many pieces?
Keith, did you, I mean,
Oh,
Debbie,
sorry.
Yeah, I got it, got me.
There's about.
Yeah.
Probably
Eight
850
piece now,
yeah.
And you need how many?
We need all new ones, ours are very old.
and Rick, what do you say, approximate ballpark?
10 times.
I mean, for cost.
Oh, about 800, 850.
A piece. And then Dave Coughlin has been, the Forestry Volunteer Fire Assistance Program has awarded our department $1,807.43 to purchase chainsaws and PPE. So we would like to, for you to accept
Make a
that.
motion, we accept it.
Motion made, second by Dave, all in favor? Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. With that being said, we're going to enter into executive session under one MRS 4056C, and we're also going to be under one MRS 4056B. The last one, no?
Mike, can I just have you guys sign the two commitments before we break into the
Yeah.
executive session? Thank you.
I'm seriously.